occurred elsewhere. And before anybody says, that was a long time ago, understand this.
Was freed. Second, majority of the Black figures you celebrate during Black History Month have roots in the Caribbean, who then have roots to the motherland.
Because I literally lived it. So y'all know I spent the last 3 months in Ghana. And I'm walking through the markets in Accra, and I see these white British couple right here.
And for the glory that we are now standing there, yes? And then we walk, through the door of no return, and we're on the beach, and we can see the waters. And by now, we all just like want to kind of die.
An African American who visited Ghana some few years back is saying that if you don't feel safe in America as an African American or Black American, Ghana got you. Ghana is a safe haven for you, and you can move to Ghana. And also I have other videos of other Americans sharing what Black people are going through and what Africans need to do. I don't want to talk plenty. Let's go into the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe.
Senegal has Gorée Island, which is kind of our version of the slave castles. It's, And I went there as a very, very young child and was too unaware to know what I was feeling and what was going on there, you know? But now I was a grown up and I'm standing in in essentially this cave jail. And on this tour with, 100 other people who are all different, like they're artists and they're musicians, and like Jadena was there, like they're like people yes,
Nigerian.
Yes, Nigerian, the lightest Nigerian I've ever seen. But he just like these people that here in America have these Black people that have value to the outside. You know what I mean? Like, of course, we all have value, but because they have a little bit of fame, a little money, like then they're valued. And we're all standing in this space, in this jail cell. And we went to the male jail cell, the female jail cell, and the one that the sort of entryway jail cell. Before you get there. And there's 100 of us, but what stood there before us were 200 people, and I'm not enslaved people. 200, I don't even want to say Africans because that limits us too much, because they were humans, they were teachers, they were mothers, fathers, doctors. This was an entire society that they jailed here and kept them for 3 months minimum in order to break their spirit, so that when just to see who was going to survive and who was not going to survive, and to have them walk that long, well, it's not that long, it just feels really long, this tunnel through the door of no return and onto the boat. It's just this feeling and this knowledge and just like knowing how many people had to survive this bullshit just for me to do funny make-em-ups over in LA. You know what I mean? Like this is what my ancestors survived.
Butterfly effect,
it's the butterfly effect. And it's so powerful and it's so draining. And I remember just like we were there for a while, and then you sit in the we give offerings in the cells, and we do prayers, and we really, really hold space for what happened there and for the glory that we are now standing there. And then we walk through the door of no return, and we're on the beach and we can see the waters, and by now we all just like want to kind of die. And then we come back in, and the funny thing about Ghana is they are so, if you want to, like Black people, if you are a Black and American and you don't want to be here because you don't feel safe here, Ghana got you. Ghana got you. There's something, but Ghana got you because they were handing out passports. Every day they said, would you like a passport? And I felt funny about getting a Ghanaian passport because I don't have a Senegalese passport. Somebody in Senegal hit me up because I want one. I'm coming. but I felt funny. I didn't know what was going to happen. But you can get the Ghana one because they are really, really sorry about their place in history when it comes to slavery too. And so there are a lot of expats there. There are a lot of like Black Americans that move there. And they stand on the other side of that door. And when you come in, they say, welcome back, sister. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Because the door of no return, we have gotten to a place where we have mounted over it and we have shut it down and we have made it a door of welcome and not a door of slavery and degradation and death. to us. You know, sorry, that was a lot.
No, it wasn't. No.
Drink a little bit more.
Cheers, because
Cheers to that.
No, seriously, you were definitely cooking on that, and because I think until you take that journey, and everything you said took me back to the moment that I stood in the very place that you stood in Ghana and in Accra, and I just remember being overwhelmed with emotions, and this was me at 16 years old. Ooh. And I remember crying, and the people that I was with, we were crying because you can feel like when you talk about feeling the spirits and the heaviness of the past, you can feel it in that moment, and it never, ever left my spirit. I never forgot it. And what I know to be true from what you were saying is that as you get older, your perspective in your life, you become a little bit more comfortable in understanding who you are. And so in that moment, you can go, whoa, that's a different experience than traveling to Africa as a kid and go, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know the difference.
Reparations does not just mean a check to descendants of slavery, though that conversation is very valid and overdue, and I talk about it a lot on this account. It also means reimbursement. It means returning value for what was taken and never paid back. It means reinvesting into the very lands that were stripped to build first world comfort elsewhere. And before anybody says, that was a long time ago, understand this. If the wealth stolen back then is still being used today, then the debt is still active. You don't get to say move on while still living off the interest. Let's also kill this lie that this is unrealistic or impossible. Governments print trillions overnight for wars, bailouts, and corporations and cover-ups that don't need it. So don't insult people's intelligence by acting like repairing historical damage is somehow unthinkable. What's really unthinkable is demanding personal responsibility from nations that were deliberately sabotaged. And listen, I'm not trying to encourage revenge or flipping power hierarchies or punishing random people alive today. It's about repairing systems that were broken on purpose and never fixed. Global inequality is not accidental, it is engineered. And if we keep refusing to name that, we are not being neutral, we are protecting it. And listen, I'm not asking for hatred or violence. I'm not asking to guilt trip everyday people who did not personally commit these crimes. All I'm asking for is honesty, awareness, acknowledgement, restructuring, action, and redistribution that actually reflects reality instead of fairy tales about meritocracy. Reparations and reimbursement are not radical ideas. They are delayed invoices. And the longer they are ignored, the more expensive the consequences become for everybody. This is not about the past. This is about whether we are willing to stop lying about the present.
The Black Americans are on TikTok stating that Black History Month is only meant to celebrate Black American history. And I 110% disagree. That's crazy. I can recognize that the concept of Black History Month started in America, but that's as far as that goes. To then come onto this app and state Black History Month is only meant to celebrate Black American history is absurd. And you are moving like the colonizers who put you there. First, y'all weren't even the first ones freed. Second, majority of the Black figures you celebrate during Black History Month have roots in the Caribbean, who then have roots to the motherland. How can you disregard the motherland and the two boat stops before y'all? Maya Angelou, Trinidadian. Stokely Carmichael, Trinidadian. Colin Powell, Jamaican. Harry Belafonte, Jamaican. Grandmaster Flash, Bayesian. Malcolm X, Grenadian. To concentrate the celebration of Black history to just the Americas is absolutely ridiculous and contradictory to celebrating Black history.
There is no group of people that hate themselves like Black people. Why do you put on Indian human hair? Can I ask? You know how we get that hair? When nothing goes right in the life of a Hindu person, they go through a ceremony called Tansho, where the priest in the temple incantates all the bad luck they are facing onto the hair, because for them to cut hair is such a taboo. But so that it indicates a new phase of metamorphosis, they shave their hair clean. They used to burn that hair because they understood that burning all the bad luck, until they realized the stupid African woman wants to put it on their head. So you buy your own bad luck and you put it on your head. So I think I'll leave it there. We should love ourselves, loving the spirituality, is a secondary thing. You can't embrace African spirituality until you've learned to love yourself and love your people.
Medase, Papa, my people, Fawaka. I think by now a lot of people think I'm Ghanaian, but I'm not. Well, I'm married to a Ghanaian, but I'm not Ghanaian. I just love the culture. Like, it's dope. The tree, the gun, the fonte, all the amazing, like, so many languages, like, so multicultural. And you know what I was always thinking about, like, why are there no programs of like the Afro diaspora and Africans, like, you know, coming together, like those in the Netherlands they have a program called Grenzeloos Verliefd, meaning like borderless in love, so that, you know, you see a Dutch girl or a Dutch man going to this other country to live with a person. Why don't we have that yet? Should I make this production? Let me know.
Okay, this is gonna ruffle some feathers, but I have to say it because I literally lived it. So y'all know I spent the last 3 months in Ghana. And I'm walking through the markets in Accra, and I see these white British couple, right, getting fitted for this costume and car outfit. Full set. The man gets a whole shirt and pants situation. His wife is getting a dress custom made. And I'm internally bracing myself, waiting for someone to say something. Waiting for the tension. And you know what happened? The tailor was hype, showing them different patterns, explaining the meaning, suggesting styles, taking measurements with this huge smile on her face. Other vendors coming over, giving their opinion, helping them pick out colors, like it was a whole celebration. Nobody was mad. Nobody was side-eyeing. It was just normal. So then I get back to the States and I see this photo of a non-African American couple in there, Ankara, and looking at the comments, it's like, that's appropriation. They need to stay in their lane. This is our culture. All from people who, here go the kicker, people who don't even wear African print. They don't even put it on themselves. Not once. They whole Instagram is Fashion Nova, Zara, Temu, but suddenly they the culture police. Meanwhile, while I had my store at the outlet mall, same thing. White customers would come in nervous, almost apologetically, like, is it okay if I... And I'm like, yes, please. Let me know what you think about this pattern. Let me show you how to style it. Let me make a sale and share the culture. But I have Black Americans walk by, look in, see white people shopping, and just be like, Never mind that they weren't shopping near themselves. Never mind that those white customers was actually supporting a Black-owned business and learning about the culture. But here's what I learned. The people actually from the continent, they are proud when other people appreciate their prints. They want to share. Go to any West African country, you'll see Chinese, Indian, Lebanese, white people wearing Ankara, Kente, and it's encouraged because cultural exchange is literally how the culture spreads. It sustains itself economically. But somehow in America, we made it this whole gatekeeping thing. And the wildest part, the gatekeepers aren't wearing it either. They're not supporting Black-owned businesses selling it. They're not learning the meanings or the history. They're just policing from the sidelines. So we end up in this backward situation where people who actually make the prints want everyone to buy them, but people who don't wear them and didn't make them are telling everyone to stay away. And meanwhile, my cash register stays quiet while I watch potential customers walk past because they're scared of being called out by people who weren't gonna shop there anyway. Like, make it make sense.
So I'm racist, and this video is about me being racist. In 2006, I stayed in South London for a few weeks with a friend in between rental periods on two houses. And one day I came home from work early and walked past the local secondary school in Streatham just as the kids were coming out. And I was surprised to see that a lot of the Black kids were being picked up by their dads. And I remember thinking, oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Black dads do stick around. Now, obviously, I'm not proud of this. And at the time, I think if somebody had come up to me at a party or something and said, black dads don't stick around, I would have argued with them and said, of course they do. Because intellectually, in my higher brain, I know, and I did know, that black dads stick around. But somehow, subconsciously, I had acquired the idea that they didn't. You see, one of the problems with racism is that our brains are actually designed for prejudice, in the sense that they are designed to pick up cues from the world around us and take shortcuts to understanding how the world works. And that would be fine if we didn't live in a racist society. But in a racist society, we are constantly bombarded with messages about races and what the essential nature of those races are. Messages that just aren't true, that aren't accurate. And I think in some ways, the people who are overtly racist, who admit to being racist, who are white supremacists, are easier to contend with because we know that they're there and they are conscious of their bias and we can debate it with them and argue it with them. But it's the people like me who claim not to be racist, who claim that we are somehow immune from this disease in our society, that can be the really dangerous ones. Because if we don't admit to ourselves that we carry this prejudice, how on earth can we ever deal with it? Now, I know that the argument is often given that we can't have people second guessing themselves and constantly on guard about, oh, am I being racist? Am I not? But the fact is, the burden of racism has to be borne by somebody. If I don't make a conscious effort to not be racist, then it will be people of color around me who have to take that burden on my behalf. And that just can't be right. What that moment in Streatham taught me is that I have no room for complacency. Saying that I'm anti-racist, being intellectually opposed to racism is no guarantee of not being racist. And the job of combating racism belongs to all of us, and it is an ongoing job.
Family, this is not okay. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, posted this last night at 8:44. Put pictures of President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle on the bodies of monkeys, apes, gorillas. This is the President of the United States, family. You all should be outraged. Everybody today needs to be posting about this. Pull up this image. This is from Donald Trump, his own social media. He did this to our President of the United States picture on the bodies of monkeys. Something that white racists have always called us and teased us and said we were monkeys. And this is the leader of the free world. This is grounds for impeachment. This is grounds. Black people, you need to be enraged today. Post about this all day.
Yo, dear non-black people, y'all need to stop comparing other people's oppressions, history, and pain with black people's. It is not the same. It is not the same. Well, other countries had slaves. My ancestors were slaves during the Viking era. It's not the same. I'm sorry. It's really not the same. And I'm not saying that to dismiss anybody else's suffering. Pain is pain. Trauma is real wherever it exists. But comparison is where honesty matters. And pretending everything is equal is how truth gets diluted into nothing. What happened to black people was not just slavery. It was not just change. It was not just forced labor. It was an entire system built from the ground up with one goal: extract everything: labor, culture, language, land, identity, memory, family, spirituality, and then legally, socially, and economically lock the damage in place for generations. That was not a chapter, my friends. It was a foundation. Black people were not only enslaved, they were stripped of names, stripped of lineage, stripped of homeland, stripped of memory, stripped of ancestry, stripped of the ability to even know who the fuck they were before the boat. After slavery ended, the punishment did not stop. It evolved. Jim Crow, redlining, Ku Klux Klan, lynching, mass incarceration, war on drugs, racial profiling, disenfranchisement, underfunded schools, over-policing, medical abuse, economic sabotage, financial sabotage, cultural theft without credit or repair. So when somebody says, my people were enslaved too, but their ancestors went back to land, language, last names, history, and power, that matters. That difference matters. And bro, you realize most groups who were enslaved were eventually absorbed back into a nation, a people, a lineage. Black Americans were released into a country that still hated them, still exploited them, and then blamed them for the damage it caused. That's not the same. And no, saying that doesn't mean other people did not suffer. It means this suffering was systemic, racialized, inherited, and unfinished. You can't flatten that into a generic human struggle without lying.
This particular lady, I really remember her. I think during the year of return in 2019, we had Boris Kujo brought, I think, about over 50 or 100, or I've forgotten the number, of African Americans into Ghana. They were celebrities, like most of them were celebrities, musicians, movie actors and actresses. They came here, and I think that is the experience she is sharing with us. And trust me, that time was the time that the year of return was like at the peak of it, like the beginning. That was the beginning of the year of return, and it was so nice. So many people came into Ghana, and what she's saying, talking about the citizenship and all that, it is very true. You can get your citizenship in Ghana as an African American because a law has actually been enacted to give African diasporans the chance to also acquire citizenship in Ghana. So if you're not safe out there, Ghana got you. Feel free, move to Ghana. And also, this woman, what she was saying, it's so true. I don't know what is wrong with black women in general. They have nails. God has actually given them nails, and they will go and put artificial nails on it. God has given them hair. They will go and put an artificial hair on it. God has given them eyelashes. They will go and put an artificial eyelashes on it. God has given them eyebrows. The direction that God actually puts this particular eyebrow, they will go clean it up or shave it and just give it a different direction. Like, Charlie, I don't know what's wrong with black people. They are not confident. They don't feel confident in their own natural body or what God has given them. And all the time they will be doing something different, artificial stuff, makeup. Charlie, it's so sad, but this is the reality we are in now. This is the reality we are facing now. And I'm hoping and praying that this mentality will change in the near future. White people that are also going against that. Imagine what Donald Trump did. This is crazy. Posting a picture of Obama and Michelle as apes. Jesus Christ. Is this the United States president? I don't want to talk plenty. Thank you so much for watching.